Money is rarely just about numbers. It is a reflection of our emotions, past experiences, beliefs, and the psychological patterns we often don't recognize. Have you ever wondered why you make certain financial decisions, even when you know they aren't the best choice? Your choices may be driven by fear, the desire for security, guilt, or beliefs about money that have been with you since childhood. Marcus P. Lancaster explores these invisible forces in The Psychology of Money. Rather than focusing on investing strategies or financial formulas, the book explains why people behave the way they do with money. Understanding your financial psychology is the first step toward changing it. When you understand why you make certain decisions, you can begin closing the gap between knowing what is financially wise and consistently acting on that knowledge.
Lancaster describes money as an ongoing conversation between logic and emotion. Most people believe they make rational financial decisions, but emotions often have far greater influence than facts. Our ambitions, fears, memories, and personal identities quietly shape every financial choice we make. Fear and greed are two of the strongest emotional forces. Greed can create overconfidence during periods of success, encouraging risky decisions and unrealistic expectations. Fear has the opposite effect. It causes hesitation, panic, and emotional reactions during financial downturns. Neither emotion is inherently bad. The key is learning to recognize them before they begin controlling your decisions. Financial success comes from balancing emotion with reason, instead of allowing either one to dominate.
Another challenge is becoming emotionally attached to financial decisions. Many people continue holding investments that are clearly losing value simply because they have become emotionally connected to them. Instead of accepting a loss, they continue hoping the investment will recover. This emotional attachment often prevents rational decision-making. Lancaster explains that the goal is not to eliminate emotions completely. Instead, successful investors learn to recognize their feelings without allowing those feelings to make decisions for them. Emotional awareness creates better judgment. When logic and emotion work together rather than against each other, financial decisions become more balanced, thoughtful, and effective.
One of the biggest obstacles to financial success is the collection of mental shortcuts known as cognitive biases. These hidden patterns influence our decisions without us realizing it. One of the strongest is loss aversion. Psychologically, losing $100 feels far more painful than gaining $100 feels rewarding. Because of this, many people hold on to losing investments for far too long, hoping they will recover instead of accepting a small loss. Another common bias is the endowment effect. People naturally place greater value on things simply because they already own them. Ownership creates emotional attachment, making it difficult to evaluate possessions and investments objectively.
Confirmation bias is another powerful trap. Instead of searching for balanced information, people naturally seek opinions that support what they already believe. As a result, they ignore warning signs and overlook evidence that challenges their decisions. Anchoring is another bias that shapes spending habits. The first price you see often becomes the reference point for everything that follows. A product that appears heavily discounted may seem like a bargain, even if it is still overpriced. Recognizing these biases helps you pause before making decisions. The more aware you become of your own thinking, the less control these mental shortcuts have over your financial behavior.
Lancaster also explains that many of our financial habits begin in childhood. The beliefs we develop early in life often stay with us for decades. If money was a source of stress in your family, you may still associate finances with anxiety today. If you constantly heard phrases like, "money doesn't grow on trees," those messages may continue influencing your decisions without you realizing it.
These early experiences become your personal money story. The encouraging news is that these stories are not permanent. Once you recognize the beliefs shaping your financial behavior, you can question them, replace unhealthy patterns, and create a healthier relationship with money based on your present reality rather than your past.
Another important lesson in the book is the connection between self-worth and financial success. People with healthy self-esteem usually make decisions based on long-term value rather than short-term emotions. They see money as a tool, not as proof of their personal worth. On the other hand, low self-worth often leads to self-sabotaging behavior. Some people overspend to gain approval, while others avoid financial opportunities because they doubt their abilities. Lancaster calls this money self-esteem. It is the confidence you have in your ability to manage, earn, save, and invest money wisely. Strengthening your confidence allows you to make calmer, more rational financial decisions, even during periods of uncertainty.
Knowledge alone is not enough to build wealth. Your daily habits have a far greater impact on your financial future than occasional big decisions. One of the simplest strategies is automation. By automatically transferring money into savings or investments, you remove the need to make the same decision over and over again. Automation reduces temptation and builds consistency. Another useful technique is the 2-minute rule. Large financial goals can feel overwhelming. Breaking them into small, manageable actions makes it much easier to begin. Small actions performed consistently often produce far greater results than ambitious plans that are never started.
Lancaster also recommends practicing mindful spending. Before making a non-essential purchase, pause for 24 hours. This short delay gives your emotions time to settle and helps separate genuine needs from temporary impulses. Many purchases that feel urgent in the moment lose their appeal after a day of reflection. Mindful spending is not about depriving yourself. It is about making intentional choices that align with your long-term goals instead of reacting to short-term desires. Over time, these small habits create greater financial stability, reduce unnecessary expenses, and strengthen your ability to make thoughtful decisions with confidence.
The ultimate goal of financial success is not simply accumulating more money. True financial freedom comes from aligning your resources with the life you want to live. Money becomes valuable because it gives you choices. It allows you to control your time, reduce unnecessary stress, pursue meaningful opportunities, and support the people and causes that matter most to you. Financial independence is not measured only by the size of your bank account. It is measured by the freedom to make decisions based on your values, rather than your circumstances. Building that freedom requires patience, discipline, and a willingness to continue learning throughout your life. The journey toward financial confidence is built one decision at a time.
The central message of the psychology of money is that lasting wealth begins with understanding yourself. Your emotions, habits, beliefs, and mindset shape your financial future far more than intelligence alone. Learn to recognize your emotional triggers. Challenge the beliefs that no longer serve you. Build consistent financial habits. Make decisions based on long-term goals instead of temporary feelings. Most importantly, remember that money is a tool, not the destination. The better you understand your own psychology, the better your financial decisions become. Over time, those decisions compound into greater confidence, greater freedom, and greater peace of mind. True wealth is not just what you own. It is the ability to use your money to create a life that reflects your values and your purpose.